Valley. Now, LA City Fire arriving here on scene. This is going to be the corner of Bonnie Bray and 6th Street, Westlake area, kind of close to MacArthur Park. It is not just an abandoned building, but apparently it was a building that had burned earlier. They call that a previous burn. That means that this building was on fire. They came there, they put the fire out. So the fire department gets there this afternoon, and they say they have 2 units well involved with fire. They quickly break out the wagon batteries. That's the water from the trucks. They're pulling hose lines. Somebody arrives on scene and says that they think that they have a family member that may be inside. Now, LA City Fire takes that information extremely serious. They went inside the building. They did 2 searches, as we understand it. So far, no victims have been found. Getting a better look at the building right now, you can see it's actually on Bonnie Bray near 6th Street. That's a smaller street, Bonnie Bray being the smaller of the 2 streets. LA City Fire here on scene. They're in defensive mode right now. Another water cannon coming on right there on one of their ladder pipes. So they are definitely trying to get this fire under control. They're keeping these flames from other residents in the area. Right now, though, no injuries to firefighters or civilians. Live in Sky 2 over the Westlake area. I'm Stu Mundel. Back to you two in the studio. Susie, I should have clarified that. But we don't know exactly when the fire was here earlier, but there definitely wasn't any time recent, meaning at least a couple of days, maybe longer. They call this a previous burn, meaning this adds fire damage. Nobody was living in this building when this current fire broke out, but you can see the firefighters keeping the flames from spreading to the building next door. That is going to be a concern. It doesn't seem to be any type of homes, but definitely a building there next door. They're trying to keep those flames from spreading. And then, of course, just because there's not supposed to be anybody living there doesn't mean there may be squatters. They were concerned. They are concerned. They did do a very thorough search, as I understand, 2 thorough searches. Even though the building on fire, firefighters went in there to make sure nobody was in there. They say they have not found any victims. Oh, yeah, definitely the firefighters out here, LA City Fire, doing an awesome job protecting lives and property. But you are so right. The heat definitely not helping the situation at all. Extremely hot. They have to work in these conditions, these hot conditions, and then also dangerous conditions. You can see a lot of that structure has collapsed. Firefighters there on the roof, like you mentioned earlier on, 117 degrees about down there in the downtown area this afternoon. These guys in what's called full turnouts with the air bottles on there. That's probably 30 pounds of weight on them. Right now, though, they're still battling these flames and in a very active firefight out here in the Westlake area. Yeah, this AC isn't doing anything. It's just blowing warm air. Good thing I wore the Helenet hoodie today to sop up all the sweat. Oh, I thought you shut it off on purpose. I was just about to open a window. Ugh. All right, this time it'll be a quick hit. I don't know if the AC is on, but it's definitely blowing. It's just not doing anything. White glide. We're not on the web or anything, are we? Look, the palm trees are spontaneously combusting because of the heat. Go ahead, sir, go ahead. Yay, Facebook. One minute away, copy all. Guys, I gotta stay a little frosty. We're gonna do a hit on CBS here in just a minute. I'm waiting for the commercial break, Dan, and we're gonna do a little something with Peter and Susie. This AC isn't working. It's horrible. I'm dripping sweat in my eyes. Well, it's happening out here at the corner of 6th and Bonnie Bray. They're actually on Bonnie Bray. You see the building right there. LA City Fire doing great work getting those flames under control. There was some talk that possibly there was somebody inside that building, even though it was an abandoned structure earlier on. They're saying now that they did not find anybody. They did 2 searches. As it stands right now, hot temperatures pretty much slowing down LA City Fire just a little bit. They are human beings, and this is about 170 degrees down there. Right now, though, we can see the flames starting to slow down. That structure is abandoned, and you can see that damage. They are a little worried possibly of a structure collapse. Right now, though, still a very active firefight out here in the Westlake area. Live in Sky 2, I'm Stu Mundel. Back to you 2 in the studios. Guys, you probably, on the Facebook, you probably heard what we're talking about out there. So the long version of this is that this is a previous burn, meaning that this building had burned at some time in the past. Don't know if it was a month ago, a week ago, yesterday. I'm guessing it's probably burned a long time ago. Just because the building burned down doesn't mean that squatters aren't living in that building. So basically, LA City Fire arrived here on scene. They had some active fire in this building. They basically pulled out the hose line, started to battle the flames. Somebody showed up and said that they had a relative inside the building. So that changed the situation quite a lot. Now, LA City Fire, they have to, human life huge, obviously huge priority for them. So they actually went into that burning building, searched it, as we understand, twice, have not found any victims. But with this great heat that we're having out here, that along with doing the job of battling these flames, they are going to have to, they have to worry about their own as well. So they're going to have an extra 1 or 2 ambulances to make sure that the firefighters do not get heat exhaustion. Obviously, they're probably also going to have some rehab down there as well, meaning water, maybe Gatorade or some sort of drinks to help those firefighters out. Right now, though, the fire pretty much out, but they're not calling it a knockdown as of yet. As far as the civilian that was inside there, that was just a report, and we understand no civilians were found, no firefighter injuries as of yet either, but this firefight definitely continuing. It's hot. Let me just let you know, it's hot, and we switched helicopters in this AC a little less AC-ish. It's just blowing hot air on us. Brennan at the tiller, he's got his helmet on, so I can imagine he's even hotter than I am. And you know, Brennan is a good-looking guy. He is pretty hot. Woohoo! I got no ice cubes. How far can we go? We can fly for about 2 hours on a tank of fuel. Yeah, especially today. Oh, it's hot. I think it's muy caliente. I've been so busy doing the reports and stuff, I haven't been able to keep up. I don't know if this went, I don't think it went major emergency. Probably second alarm for sure, though. Oh, who's got ice cream? Woo! Tina? Gathering news doesn't know sick. I'm not even joking about this. Earlier on, we went on that pursuit. I started out with ice water in my cup, and when I drank it after the pursuit was over, it was warm. It was like drinking warm water. I thought I grabbed the wrong cup. Eric, this is the deal with the AC because everybody's asking about the AC. Technically, the aircraft has air conditioning, meaning, you know, it has a compressor and it has a condenser and it's, you know, venting and a fan. Is it really doing anything? Barely. And the reason, if somebody's going to ask why, well, is it isn't like a car. We don't have any kind of insulation. And so just kind of imagine, you know, this kind of heat, roll down all your windows and turn on the air conditioning. You'd probably be better off in your car than we are in here right now. The air coming out of directly out of the vents is just warm. Nathan, I have a plastic cup from Starbucks. Nico, you are so right. This is no joke out here. Brennan, he's got the hydro flask. Hydro flask. Yep. Eric, who I have no idea. Costs and cause and arson and all that. They'll show up later. I don't know why it would be an arson. It was a previous burn, probably scheduled for demolition anyway. It is not cool in here at all. I'm actually wiping sweat out of my eyes. Yes, I do. At my house I have one. I don't know how it's going to help me here. It's a previous burn. Somebody's asking what's actually on fire, where it is. This is in the Westlake district of downtown Los Angeles. We're at 6th and Bonnie Bray. We're actually on Bonnie Bray. We're near a cross of 6th Street. It was an apartment building. I mean, it was a previous burn, meaning that this burned down maybe a month ago, maybe a week ago. There was a fire here, devastated, damaged it. Nobody was living inside this building. Somehow there was another fire here today. Susie, we already had one. Susie says we need to find a pursuit. I was like, we just did one. I could not imagine what a pursuit would be like in this thing. Yeah. Do they not? Well, probably keeps the monitor cool so it doesn't overheat. Benjamin, we know about it, obviously. You know, it's a long ways away. And what happens if something happens out here? Sorry, guys, I had to wipe the sweat out of my eyes. Simon Desk, checking in. I don't think it's any cooler. Nope, Christopher, we are back in our primary helicopter. Gotta be all over by the pier, I guess. That's the pier. Right at the pier. Yep. 1500 oceanfront, just for your knowledge, is actually the pier, Santa Monica Pier. That's what heat looks like, if you're wondering. I'm looking up to mess with the air vents and the sweat's getting in my eyes. It's like you can't win. Well, at least my shirt's all wet now, so that's going to help. Simon Desk, I cannot gather the information for the story we're going to because it's Santa Monica, I'm guessing. Any information that you have will be helpful. There we go.